On the grid then, and they fire themselves at Paddock Hill Bend as we charge towards turn one. Adrian Tunkley just ahead from pole position, on board with Mark Burnett from the second row of the grid. It's Adrian that's going to get the lead of the race, winner of the opening round of this championship this year, and he leads the field into Paddock Hill Bend, but he's made a mistake coming down as they drop down, and few of them making mistakes. Tunkley goes off in the number 55 car, so the pole position man on the grass, it's allowed Peter Turbitt, the Scotsman, to get through into the lead of the race, and the red car there, number 10, was the other one, Stuart Coombs, that had a big moment coming down the hill. Louise Inch has had a decent start in the pink number 1 car, the 2010 champion, into third place, and another one off here coming out of Druids. That's the number 35 car of Nicholas Lyford, who started on the 5th row of the grid. On board now with number 79. This is Wesley Dunford making a good start, already picking up positions here from the middle of the pack. He's onto the tail of the number 19 David Rambelow car. There though is the race leader coming out of McLaren at the end of lap number 1. Peter Turbitt, number 23. Number 7, Mark Burnett up to 2nd place. Number 1, Louise Inch, she is up to 3rd position. And there they are. There's the number 79 car that we just had the onboard from. And there he is again, Wesley Dunford. The blue number 79 machine on the tail of number 19, David Rambelow. Literally on the tail, pushing him almost across the start-finish line. Here are the top 3, side by side here for 2nd place, and Louise Inch dives down the inside and gets straight into 2nd position. So Louise Inch, already a champion, gets into 2nd place. Mark Burnett, who's been in the top 6 in all the races the BRSCC Mighty Minis this year, doing well again, but he slips back to 3rd position in the number 7 Mini. Louise Inch then looking for her 2nd victory of the season, on board with Wesley Dunford. Now he and number 19 just ahead, David Rambelow, on the attack here, getting alongside the number 98 machine, and that is James Goodall, who started in the top 10. So those two are well working their way up through the field. Back on board with Dunford, and 19 Rambelow has got ahead of number 98, and through now comes Wesley Dunford. So he picks up a place up the Cooper Straight, and damp conditions here, getting a little bit tricky out there into the left-hander. They go now at Surtees, and crossed up he gets. He's enjoying himself though as he gets back on the throttle, and doesn't really lose too much time to David Rambelow. So he's having a ball out there trying to keep this Mini Cooper planted to the ground. These are all road-going machines with slight modifications, very cheap running costs. All these minis built between 1991 and 1996, and they're incredible fun, and that's why the championship has always been so well populated in terms of grid numbers. Right, there is number 19 David Rambelow making terrific strides forward in this race already. He comes out of Paddock Hill Bend, he's on the tail of the number 69 Michael Dryden car, and he's looking to the outside line here. Look at this, absolutely neck and neck. Stuart Coombs just ahead in the number 10 machine, having had his moment a couple of laps ago. Number 79 there, we've had some onboard coverage from him as well, doing a good job just on the tail of this group. Wesley Dunford, down the hill they come. There's the race leader, around about 10 seconds clear of that fight already. Peter Turbitt then. Here's a replay. Now this is on board with Stuart Coombs. This is going to be turn 1 at the start of the race. Up ahead the silver car of Tunkley gets loose, and look at that, absolute brilliant control from Stuart Coombs to keep his car pointed in the right direction. So he survives. Further down, a battle here between number 59 Dale Nelson, and on his tail Adrian Tunkley, the other spinner, the pole position man, now fighting his way back up through the order, on board with Wesley Dunford. And look at this, there's nowhere to go because there are 2 minis blocking his path to Paddock Hill Bend, so he tries to slice up the middle of them, and it's going to be David Rambelow that gets there first. There is Dunford, and he's followed him through, and they both demote then the pink number 69 car of Michael Dryden. There's Inch in 2nd, there is Burnett. Oh, look at this, onto the gravel! Is that fight for 6th place? And through the gravel goes David Rambelow. Coombs had a moment as well. He loses the place back to number 69 Michael Dryden. They've all been passed by the blue number 79 car of Wesley Dunford. And through 2 now comes the green machine of number 33 Thomas Mosley, which has come all the way from 15th on the grid. Back on board with David Rambelow, recovering, trying to get back onto the tail of Mosley. So he lost, 3 places during that moment. He got out of the gravel trap, and he keeps it on the track eventually, which is the all-important thing, and he gets a good run now on the way into the left-hander at Surtees, and at least gets one of those positions back. I mean, none of the drivers so far is Pete Turbitt. He was a race winner recently at Snetterton, although he didn't win it on the track. Picked up the position due to another competitor being disqualified at the end of the race, so he'd like to win outright. He'd like to see the checkered flag for himself. There's Mark Burnett, who's already been on the podium a couple of times this season, and on board with him now. Very smooth driving style for Mark Burnett, experienced Mighty Mini racer as he heads up the hill. The pink dot in front of him getting smaller and smaller as he drops back from Louise Inch. Behind them all there, in 4th place, Paul Chater, number 82, just saw a glimpse of him, and into a barrel roll then goes. That's number 98. Goodall, who got totally out of shape coming out of Paddock Hill Bend. Hopefully he's okay. And the race leader is the only one really not having an absolute blast of action out there. I suppose Louise Inch has had a fairly calm time of it since that first lap where she picked up 2 or 3 places. Louise then, another very consistent racer, won the championship by the narrowest of margins in the 2010 season. And she's getting stronger and stronger as each year goes by now. Back on board with Dale Nelson, trying to come around the outside of him there was the number 70 car of Gregory Jenkins. They're still swapping paint there as they come out of Paddock Hill Bend. An apology away from Dale Nelson. And hopefully that's not another one in the gravel trap. We're on the way into Druids Corner, into the tight right hand of the slowest part of the course, and indeed still there, and going around the outside of him is Gregory Jenkins to pick up a place. So everywhere you look in the Mighty Minis there's something going on. There's Louise Inch in second place then, pulling away from the race leader Pete Turbot. But the battle for third closing up because Mark Burnett just flashing through shot, and catching him fast is Paul Chater there, number 82, who's come all the way from 7th on the grid. So he's having a good run. Back on board now with David Rumbelow. This is the battle for 5th and 6th just ahead. Rumbelow you're on board with in 7th place. And you can see the car there in the gravel trap from that barrel roll. But this is a terrific run out of Paddock Hill Bend, up Hellwood Hill. And the yellow Mini of David Rumbelow is about to get back ahead of Michael Dryden, having had that ran through the gravel trap a couple of laps ago. On board now with Michael Dryden, who's just lost that place coming out of Druids. Riding themselves down towards this tight left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. Goodall is out of the car, the marshals have seen to that, and thankfully the driver is okay, although he's out of the race. That was the car that barrel rolled, and a real shame for him. A hairy moment, I'm sure, and a hairy moment here for number 36. That's Darren Nightingale, who made good progress from 14th on the grid, picking up some places early on. He's found his way back though, and rejoins, having looked like he was heading for East Kent at one point. He gets back on the circuit, but he's going pretty slowly. He's already lost 3 or 4 places. He might lose a couple more here. And side-by-side action just behind as well as Ralph Beckers, number 88, gets up the inside of Joanna Hill. 2 novice drivers there in their first few races, as Wesley Dunford gets all crossed up coming out of Graham Hill Bend. He's in 5th place here. He's got a couple of cars just behind him, including this one, David Rumbelow, who picks up that mistake, gets through surely on the inside line, and yes, through he should come. There he is, the yellow machine of David Rumbelow with the line. One slight mistake from Wesley Dunford, and he's punished, and he loses that place. There's Dunford in the 79 car, just made that mistake coming out of Graham Hill Bend. These 3 have been glued together since the 2nd lap of the race here. Dunford back behind Rumbelow and driving just behind the pair of them. There is Adrian Tuckney, number 55, still fighting his way back well inside the top 10 now, and also having a good run. Thomas Mosley from 15th on the grid. So those 2 quick cars out there on a similar pace to the front runners in this race that just had a bad start. And there is Michael Dryden. Now he's got ahead of number 79 Wesley Dunford, who gets himself into a spin at Paddock Hill Bend, oversteers through the corner and somehow gets it back on track. These minis get out of shape, but you seem to be able to control them and get them back on track. Here's a replay of what happened to Wesley. He was pointing almost up the hill at one point, but brilliant control to get him back on track. Loses some time, but he stays in the race. There then is Louise Inch, and a fairly steady race for Louise coming into the closing stages. Can't say the same for this little battle though. Rumbelow now under attack from number 69 Michael Dryden. May have been a touch of contact there as he tried to squeeze through, and through he comes on the way into Surtees to pick up that top 5 place. The pink number 69 minis. David Rumbelow dropping back again. There is Pete Turbot then looking for his first outright real life victory to get the checkered flag. Joanna Hill still going. One of those novices out there doing a good job in these very tricky conditions with less experience than some of these other drivers. Louise Inch at the other end of the experience scale, doing a solid job there in 2nd place, but nobody has been able to match the pace of this man. Peter Turbot has looked absolutely at home in these conditions. You haven't seen one wheel wrong from him. He's looked smooth, he's got the power down quickly as possible, he's braked as late as possible, but he's never slid, he's never wheel span, and he's always looked like he's on a pair of rails. So too Louise Inch, but she just hasn't been quite as quick as the race leader, and of course she had to come through from a bit further down the grid as the checkered flag comes out, and Pete Turbot wins the BRSCC Mighty Mini race here at the Brands Hatch Race Day by 11.7 seconds. Mark Burnett 3rd.